the beginnings of terror. There are moments captured on camera that no one can explain. Stories so strange, so haunting, they make you question everything you think you know about reality. What you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's a mystery that still refuses to die. This is the terrifying tale of the Bell Witch, a dark presence that tormented an innocent family in the heart of Tennessee, leaving a mark so deep that even today, over 200 years later, people still whisper about it. But how far does this horror really go? The year is 1817. The place, Red River, Tennessee. This wasn't a bustling town or a place known for its dark past. It was simply a quiet farming community, nestled in the rolling hills of early America. And yet, in this peaceful setting, something unfathomable was about to unfold. A family of farmers, the Bells, were about to become the unwitting victims of a nightmare that would change their lives forever. John Bell and his wife, Lucy, along with their children, were living in what seemed like a normal home. But the family's peaceful existence was shattered when strange and unsettling occurrences began to take place. It started with the sound of knocking, strange, rhythmic tapping that no one could explain. At first, the family thought it was just the wind, but then the sounds grew louder, more frequent, more deliberate. Then, it wasn't just sounds, it was voices. A chilling voice began to whisper from the walls of their home. It spoke to them, addressing them by name, threatening them, mocking them, and soon after, it began to show itself in physical form. But what was this presence? Was it a spirit, a demon, or something even darker, something far more malevolent? Imagine standing in that house. The air feels thick, almost suffocating. The silence is broken only by the rhythmic knockings on the door, the walls, the floors. You can't see who, or what, is doing it, but it's real, and it's coming for you. John Bell and his family were about to experience something beyond their worst nightmares. The voice grew bolder, its demands more sinister. The knocks turned into violent raps, shaking the very foundations of their home. The children heard whispers calling their names in the dead of night. Some were even dragged from their beds by unseen forces. But that was just the beginning. As the haunting escalated, the family grew desperate for answers. They sought help from their neighbors and even local preachers, hoping to uncover the truth. But what they found only deepened the mystery. Some witnesses reported hearing the voice speak in multiple tones, some soft, some guttural, some like a man, others like a woman. One evening, the entity reportedly even manifested in front of the family, its glowing eyes piercing through the darkness. But no one could ever see a clear form. Could this be the work of an evil spirit, or was something more terrifying at play? The family was no closer to an answer, only deeper into the grip of terror. It seemed the more they tried to understand it, the more powerful the force became. Then, the voice made a chilling prediction. It claimed that John Bell would soon die, and that death would come not from natural causes, but from the hands of the witch. It was one thing to hear strange sounds and voices, but to predict death with such certainty? The family began to fear for their lives. Could this witch be real? Could it have the power to take one of them for good? The next night, the voice, now more menacing than ever, shouted that it would kill John Bell. And that very night, it happened. Powerful closing with open-ended question. John Bell died in his bed, his death coming suddenly and mysteriously. But the strangest part of all, on the night of his death, the voice was heard celebrating. It claimed victory. But here's the chilling question that still remains. What killed John Bell? Was it the witch, the entity that had haunted him for so long? Or was there something more insidious at work? The mystery of the Bell Witch's curse continues to linger, unanswered. Was this truly a supernatural force? Or was it something far darker? Something human? Or is there more to this story? Something we still don't understand? The aftermath and the curse that won't die. John Bell was dead, but that didn't stop the Bell Witch. It only grew stronger. The haunting didn't end with his death. It escalated. And this time, it wasn't just the Bell family who was terrorized. It was the entire town. After John Bell's death, the town of Red River was thrown into a state of fear and confusion. The Bell family, who had suffered in silence for so long, now had to face the aftermath of a tragedy that no one could explain. The Bell Witch was not finished. In fact, it seemed that it was just getting started. The voice continued to haunt the family, tormenting them in new and terrifying ways. People who came to visit the family to offer support found themselves ensnared in the witch's grasp, experiencing unexplained phenomena in the Bell home. But this time, the presence seemed to be growing stronger, more malevolent. People in the surrounding community began to report strange events. Some said they could hear the voice calling their names, while others claimed to have seen strange lights flickering in the sky. The witch seemed to have extended its reach, casting its dark influence over the entire area. But no one understood why. No one knew what the Bell Witch wanted, or how it could be stopped. One evening, a group of local men, determined to rid the family of the curse, ventured into the Bell home, armed with prayer, holy water, and every tool they thought might banish the evil spirit. What they encountered that night would haunt them for the rest of their lives. They heard the voice again. This time, it was mocking them. It laughed at their efforts, its voice echoing through the house. Then, the witch's presence became more physical, knocking men to the ground, causing them to collapse in pain. Some even claimed to have seen shadows moving around them. But despite their best efforts, they couldn't drive it out. In the days that followed, things took an even darker turn. The entity began to target other members of the community. Rumors spread that anyone who crossed paths with the Bell Witch would soon fall victim to its wrath. People who lived nearby began to hear strange noises coming from their own homes. Knocks, whispers, and voices, just like the Bell family had experienced. The witch's influence seemed to be expanding, feeding on fear, growing stronger with each passing day. Could it be that the Bell Witch had no limits? That no one was safe from its malevolent power? One night, after months of torment, a local preacher came to the Bell household to perform an exorcism. What happened that night would change everything. The witch, angry and powerful, fought back with all its might. The preacher was thrown to the ground, unable to move. As the witch's power surged, the room grew colder, the air thicker. The entity's voice roared in fury, mocking everyone in the room. But something unexpected happened. As the preacher struggled, the voice suddenly went silent. The power seemed to ebb, the room grew still. It was as though the witch had suddenly vanished, but no one could explain why. Was the Bell Witch finally defeated, or was it simply biding its time, waiting for the right moment to return? What happened to the Bell Witch after that night? Did it truly disappear, or did it simply fade into the shadows, watching, waiting for the next victim? The legacy of the Bell Witch. The Bell Witch case may have been confined to the past, but the terror it unleashed still lingers. The haunting doesn't end with the Bell family. It extends into modern times, into the very fabric of history itself. And the worst part, the curse may never truly be broken.